Hello and welcome back. In this session, we will take a look at data types. Before we start looking at data types, we will understand what is variable hoisting. In the last example, we have seen under var containers.js, we have defined a variable called name. And before we define this variable, we have already used that variable. So what happens in JavaScript is this var name will be hoisted to the top of the list, or moving the variable to the top is nothing but variable hoisting. Okay, so you can refer to a variable declared later without getting an exception, as we have seen. So even though we didn't declare this variable before we used it, we didn't get any exception. However, we got this as undefined. Okay, since this variable is declared here and it was used much before that, we didn't get any exception. Okay, so this concept is known as hoisting. So variables in JavaScript are in a sense hoisted or lifted to the top of the function or statement. That is called variable hoisting. The variables that are hoisted return a value of undefined. So this is what we have seen in this particular example. Okay, now let us take a look at the data types. There are 7 different data types available, which are listed here: boolean, null, undefined, number, big int, string, symbol, and object. We will take a look at one by one. The first is boolean. Boolean is nothing but it will either return a true or a false value. Okay, let us see an example here. Okay, so I have created this primitive.js file wherein I have defined all the 7 primitive types. So boolean, null, undefined, number, big int, string, symbol, and object is of not primitive type, it is an object type. So that we will take a look at later on. Okay, so boolean, for example, okay, primitive.js. Okay, as you can see, the boolean contains only 2 values, true or false. So let us look at null and undefined now. Okay, so let me declare a variable here, var okay, console.log and ex and console.log and def. Okay, so let me rerun this. One more thing which we can check here is what is the type. Okay, console.log type of an ex. Okay, the same way we will also check the type of undef. Okay, so let me rerun this. Whenever we declare a variable and assign it with null, then that particular variable is of type object and the value is null. However, if we have a variable which is declared but not assigned any value, then the type is also undefined as well as the value of the variable is also undefined. The number can be So you can assign positive, negative, as well as decimal numbers. Okay, for example, var NEX1 is equal to, for example, 23.45. You can also have var NEX2 is equal to 3E5. Okay, and also you can also have var NEX3 is equal to minus 45.67. This is how we can define the numbers. Big int. In JavaScript, there is a size defined for integer, and once it exceeds that particular size, then we need to use big int. Big int can be defined as var x is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and n. This is one way of initializing big int, wherein the number is followed by a small n, which defines this particular number as big int. Okay, now the other way is big int ex2 is equal to big int of 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. Okay, so let me do console.log big int ex and console.log of big int ex2. Okay, so let me save this and then node primitive.js. These are two ways of defining a big int. So when do we use big int? If the number is greater than 2 raised to 53, then we must use big int so that we don't get any unexpected value as a result whenever we perform any operation. So if we are dealing with a bigger number, it is better to use big int. A string can be either defined with single quotes or double quotes. Single quotes or double quotes. String is nothing but an array of characters. String we will take a look at in the next session in detail. Okay, symbol is a new data type which is added recently. So what this symbol does is it will provide you the unique value. For example, let sim1 is equal to symbol of, let us say, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and let sim2 is equal to symbol of, again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, console.log sim1 sim2. Okay, so let me rerun this. Even though the values seems to be same, when we compare the value console.log, then sim1 is equals sim2. Okay, see, even though the values are same, but this is referring to a unique symbol and this is referring to a unique symbol. Sim1 is referring to a different symbol and sim2 is referring to a different symbol. Even though the values are same, these two are not same. So we will see what is the difference between double equals and triple equals, and when do we use double equals and when do we use triple equals in the upcoming session. Generally the symbol is used with key value pair. and the keys are generated using a symbol. So whenever we generate a key with this symbol, then it is guaranteed that it is unique. These are some of the primitive data types which we have seen today. In the next session, we will see the object data type. Thanks for watching.